What's up? I hope everybody had a great new year. And for my first video of 2024, I am going to make a shoebox for my Flintstone Jordan 1 lows that I created in 2020. To create the bones of this shoebox, I used some foam board from the dollar store, some hot glue, and toothpicks to kind of keep everything together. It was fairly simple to do, and once you kind of get the structure of something, it's just a process now of building up everything on top of it. Now I check to make sure that the shoes fit, and they do. And after that, I added on the bones for the garage to the side. So now I'll be using installation foam and construction foam that I got from either Lowe's or Home Depot. Luckily, I bought a hot wire foam cutter that I use quite a lot during this process as well. I actually enjoyed this part, which was carving out each rock for the chimney area. It was kind of fun and soothing to do. Now I use paper and tape to make sure that the cuts for the top of the roof would be just right. I got a few gaps in there, but hey, these are made of rocks. I'm pretty sure their structures weren't perfect then. Now at this part of the build, I'm just stacking foam on top of foam, merely just to cut almost all of it away to get the shape that I want. And this is how everything is looking thus far.
Now my dad is working on the stone for the garage. Lots of sanding needed to be done, so make sure you wear masks for this. He even got a new gadget to help him measure his cuts. And this is what it's looking like so far. Next, he cut out the windows and the doors.
Now this is my type of fun. My dad is fixing sculptor mode to fill in gaps and round off the corners. I wish I got to play in it. It looks so fun. Here what's it looking like now.
Now my dad is going to make the top of the house. He cut out each letter using his hot wire foam cutter. It looks like a lot of work to me, but it was all worth it because look at how it turned out. He used water and sanded grout to get a consistent texture all over and sealed everything in with a black Mod Podge mixture.
Thank you, my boys. I really appreciate that. Now, only seconds to you, but an entire year has gone by from me sealing this with black Mod Podge and to me picking it up again to finish it off. And I found some things to be troubling with it, so I'll explain it to you right now. Okay, so I'm at the point right now where I am painting everything, the first base coat before I was finna go into my dry brushing phase to get this looking like stone. But there are, as I'm painting over it, there are some details that I'm not feeling. Let me show you. The first detail is my chimney, man. Like at first it was really separated, but I think I just overfilled these holes and the rock texture is not looking, it's not looking like boulders stacked on top of each other, which is what they're supposed to be. So I think I'm gonna go in with my Dremel and just kind of carve out some of these so they just get a little bit more pronounced again. And then I'll go back over it. This was made from foam, but I'm gonna get some wood and put some wood in here instead. And I'm missing the curtains, man. Like I need this, because this is so thick. There's no way I can just like, I mean I could, but I'm not going to like drill a hole all the way through because I need to get the curtains. I gotta get that curtain feature in there too. So let's readjust, refocus, man, because you know if we're not gonna do it right, then we shouldn't do it at all. So let's take the detail up.
I just wanna make you mine, mine. I just wanna make you mine.
Now, I know I said I would use a Dremel to carve out the boulder shape, but that wasn't really working out how I planned. So what I did instead was cut thin pieces of foam and kind of rounded them off into the shape of the boulder and glued them onto the existing boulders and smoothed everything out with a little water and modeling paste and also some sanding as well. It came out pretty good, and once I painted everything the same color, you can barely tell, and also I get the boulder effect again as well. And the boulders were looking really smooth, but to get a texture to it, I just used some modeling paste with a little water, dabbed it with a piece of paper towel, and it gives you that rough feel like a rock would have. I decided to make curtains out of foam. I wanted to use fabric, but it wasn't working out the way I thought it would. The door was made of popsicle sticks, and I used an X-Acto knife to kind of weather up the door to give it some scratches and scars and dents. Painted it baby blue. I drop brushed it with white. Then I used a wash to tone the color down. And this is when this is started to transform to styrofoam to actual rock. And I accomplished this by using a gray base coat and just using lighter coats of dry brushed gray over on top of it, finishing off with just a little bit of white. I also dry brushed some browns and greens to just give a more natural feel to the rocks. This small detail was actually one of my favorites. So I cut the base down a year ago just so I could store it better in my room. But now I needed to add more space for the lawn, so that's what I'm doing here. Doing this gives the edge of the base a more realistic feel. Here I'm painting the base to give myself a guideline for the grass. Now I'm making stone pavers and planters for the front door. This was all made out of foam. Then I made some rocks out of foam as well. Once everything was painted, they all looked really good. I wasn't really feeling the grass that I put down earlier, so I removed it with my trusty handheld vacuum cleaner, and I decided to go with static grass. But first I made a mud mixture out of lightweight spackle, grout, sand, paint, and water. This mixture took forever to dry, but it was worth it. I bought a static grass applicator and some grass from Amazon, and the applicator did not work. I had them send me a replacement and it still didn't work. Because my grass applicator wasn't working, I decided to switch gears for a moment, and I went and got some fake grass from Home Depot to line the inside of the shoebox. Once my new applicator came in, I got right back to laying down the grass, and it worked perfectly this time around. For some more detail, I added in some tiny rocks and pebbles all around the yard. Since this was a display, I decided to go all in on it, so I 3D printed some characters for it.
A little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, where I had sometimes played chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling.
crazy, but while I was at work, I saw this real Flintstone car, and that's all the sign I needed that, hey, you need to add one of these to your diorama.
I kept on looking, but everyone's such a bore. And out of a sudden, you came through the door. At the next table, you're whisking me.
You know, I think this car may be my favorite overall thing about this entire build. It came out so well, if I may say so myself.
Stream.
I want to give a shout out to all my Patreons and those who subscribe to me on Instagram as well. I really appreciate it. If you guys like what you're seeing, like, comment, and subscribe. I have more to come this year, and I'm excited to show you guys all the cool things that I'm going to make. I appreciate y'all. I'll let you next time. And remember, always enjoy the journey.